Drink it in, man.
Deep left side carry on. Picks on the block. At the 5. At the 2. At the 1 to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Drink it in, man.
Get up, Stafford throws. It is end zone. Caught! Oh, baby, what a catch! Kenny Galladay, you're a freak! What a catch! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Cornbread! I love the Lions! Say it with me! I love the Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Detroit Kool-Aid, what is going on, everybody? We are on the road. We're up in BFE. I don't even know where we're at. I've never been across the Mackinac Bridge. Grifka told me we're up in the UP. I'm on some road with nobody else on it, but we are on our way to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I got the one and only Grifka here in the passenger seat, being lazy as possible, but we've been driving. I've been driving since we shoved off on this thing, and we've been chatting. We've been doing all types of things here on the road, and yeah, it is, what time we got, Grifka? Wait, first of all, Grifka, how are you, buddy?
Doing okay, man. It's way past my bedtime, though.
Well, the people know you go to bed at 7, 8, right after you eat dinner, basically. It's about, 1 a.m.? Is that what it says on the clock here?
1:15 in the morning.
1:20 approximately. We are literally on the road.
That's Eastern Standard Time.
1:20 a.m. I'm feeling amazing. We are literally driving and talking with you, the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers. So, Grifka, the people want to hear us talk Lions, man. We've got probably 3-4 more hours till we get to Green Bay and see Lambeau Field, but we're gonna have all types of fun when we get there. What did you hear about Lions this week as in regards to maybe some injuries or things that we need to kind of chat about while we're here on the road?
Well, the biggest thing was Deshaun Hand. He's been practicing, limited practice, but he has been downgraded as out, so that'll actually really affect the Lions again. That's really leaving, I think, 5 healthy defensive linemen, because Mike Daniels is still out as well. So we all saw Aaron Jones run all over the Dallas Cowboys, and I keep reading things that the Lions eat running backs up, and there's no problem there, but that guy's got some pretty shifty moves. I mean, a little worried about him. What do you think about that?
I'm all about that, Grifka. As the people heard, there's our GPS, and let's just really let them know that we're on the road. we are literally rolling, and Grifka's got me all fired up because he's talking about Deshaun Hand. My man, Deshaun Hand, loved him in the draft process. He really played great last year. And this guy continues to practice basically every day. I only see him sort of as a limited guy, but they call everybody limited on the Matt Pat injury report. So I don't understand why he's not out there. Like you said, there's some other injuries on that defensive line. But Aaron Jones is a really good player. I've liked him too from the start. I liked it more when they didn't feature him because we had a chance to not see him at his full capacity. But yeah, he seems to be featured now. When it comes to what the Green Bay Packers are doing with him, and I think the Lions are definitely going to have to find a way to not only stop him, but like I said, this guy can catch, he can run, he's got power, he's fast, do all types of things. So I think we're definitely going to have to deal with him, especially with no Devontae. They're really going to use that run game and then probably try to hit us, deep over the top is what I think.
Yeah, I know I saw a couple posts that people were talking maybe Aaron Rodgers maybe kind of would try to just game manage this without Devontae Adams. I never really thought that was Aaron Rodgers' MO. He always seemed like the guy that always wanted to go out and throw it around, sling it around, and wait to get the pass interference call, So he seemed to always want to do that. So I don't see Aaron Rodgers being a game manager just because they're down Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones is showing that he can run the ball. I still think he wants to be the guy to have the game on his shoulders and him do the most work for that team. That's the way I look at this. So I'm in agreement with you there. I realize we don't have the bell here, Derek, but
why didn't I bring the bell? Dang it! That's the only thing we didn't pack. I don't think, Grifka. We were loaded up, ready to go.
Yeah. So I think they're gonna try to go deep on the lines, thinking that Darius Slay coming back from a hamstring injury, he may be a little slow. Quandre Diggs, still I don't think he's listed as out yet. I could be wrong, but they think they may be able to take advantage of that line secondary.
Quandre's going to play, Grifka. I really got no worries there. Slay boy, your boy, you shook his hand, right?
Yeah.
He came up lame, whatever it was in that Kansas City game, but I know he said he was decent, but just didn't play, following, or what did he do? Was it the Charger game he hurt himself? Philly?
It was the Eagles.
Philly.
Yeah, the Philly game, and then he didn't play against the Chiefs. He didn't play
against KC, right. I think he'll be fine. Once those guys are out there, I really don't worry about them being slowed up or whatever. So, I think those guys will be ready to roll. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to want all the glory. I mean, that's what this guy does. But, he'll be back there trying to dance around, trying to, let the rush get there and show us how amazing his escapability is, throwing sidearms, stealing Matt Stafford's gimmick. He'll be doing all the, yakking with the refs, doing that stupid smile and wink when he does actually make a play. And like you say, yeah, he's going to try to chuck it deep. He's going to try to be the guy. But, that's not only what he does, we're just going to have to deal with that. He's going to make plays. You're going to go crazy. I'm going to have to sit there in the stands and go, okay, Grifka, he made one throw. He's Aaron Rodgers. We're going to be okay. And we'll just live with it. So, they'll probably throw it to Geronimo, and those other bumskis they got back there, the guy with the 3 names, or, what they do on Good Morning Football. Marquez Valdez Scantling. Those guys all suck. They can't compete with the Lions wideouts. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, like I say, no Devontae, as well as some guys missing on the defensive side. I'm feeling real good about this football game. Aaron Rodgers cannot beat the Lions by himself anymore, in my opinion, and we'll challenge him to try to do that. And when he falls short, we'll be loving it in the stands, no doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see Detroit had the week off. They had a couple weeks to prepare for this. They should be able to come up with something to keep Aaron Rodgers off balance, and with the idea of that he can just go out there and maybe abuse them the way he used to do many years ago. But times have changed. The Lions' defense has improved. They've been playing a little bit of bend don't break, and the defensive backfield, as of right now, is one of the best in the league. That's per the PFF. So it's nice to see that the Lions are not going to be taken lightly by the Green Bay Packers.
Grifka, have you come around on Matt Pat as a whole? Because I remember last season you were just all once he was somewhat, allegedly losing the team, you were just like, I don't know, maybe this guy doesn't get it, he's too hard on him, he's this, that, and the other. I mean, I think everybody's come around. This guy can scheme defense. This guy can almost win games for you based on his game plans, based on how he manipulates coverage. He's running that, basically 3-8 type defense, where he's got 3 up front and he's dropping linebackers, corners, everybody back to cover people. I wouldn't be surprised if this game he just starts house calling it, just dialing up things and bringing pressure and, doing all types of things to sort of, like you said, fluster this guy. I mean, have you come around on Matt Pat as kind of not only a defensive genius, but, I go as far as to say is I already feel like he's probably, the best Lions coach I've seen, is probably at least in the top 3 to 5 of all time, of a leader that we have leading this team, not only on and off the field, but schematically, where he can outthink people.
I mean, he's definitely changed some of the stuff that he did last year into this year. I believe a podcast that we sent out on Friday with Logan, he mentioned that he's changed some of the things that he did. I'm not saying he's any softer on the team, but I think the team is more used to his style, and I think Matt Pat's maybe given up the reins a little bit on a few things where he's not has to be micromanaging things. But I definitely think that he is helping Mother Goose with the defense a little more this year, and I think he's kind of letting Darrell Bevel, pretty much run the offense as much as possible. And I'm not saying he's given him any insight or like what he should do, or maybe he's saying, hey, Darrell Bevel, this is what this team runs on defense, and you might want to try this. But Matt Pat, I definitely think his second year he has improved as a coach. I'm not ready to say he's the best Lions coach I've ever seen. If we all remember Captain Wayno, we won some division titles with him and made it to the NFC Championship, but they also had Barry Sanders on the team as well. So I'm not ready to call him the best Lions coach I've ever seen.
See, that was going to be my point. Like, you really think, like, if you put Wayne Fontes next to Matt Pat in regards to intelligence, scheming, just overall football intellect, as well as what he's going to do with this team, you think that it would be skewed toward Wayne Fontes of all people? Like, I think it's pretty obvious that Matt Pat has a much better, handle on all things football. Now, again, you can always break it down into records. Like, okay, yeah, like you said, he had the greatest running back of all time, and he won, got us to the playoffs and whatnot. But I think that's a fight that Wayne's going to lose, almost in every circumstance when it comes to, getting up at the chalkboard and being able to do things, even motivating. Like, you just said maybe he's taking his foot off the pedal a little bit. Maybe he's not micromanaging. Like, my thing with Matt Pat is, like, I don't think it was a micromanage. I think the guy came in a lot like Bob Quinn did and looked around and said, what the hell is this? Again, I can't debut it right now, but we have a new Grifka drop where it goes something like this. What the hell are you doing? We're going to debut that for sure. But I think that's what Matt Pat and Bob Quinn said when they showed up to 222 Republic Drive. They said that exact quote because I think it was Country Club Central. I think they had no weight room facilities that were worth a dang. I think they didn't have anything set up. And that's why they went and changed everything and just totally flipped the script. Now, once he's got like the basics figured out, now he can just go coach football. So, like I say, I don't know that he's pulling back. He just sort of was shocked by what we had set up, upgraded a lot of things, and now here we're back to football kind of this year. So, like I say, you can love Wayne Fontes if you want, but I think I'm going to take this guy, and I love what he's doing on Sundays, as well as just his ability to manipulate, defense, be very versatile with the team. I was telling somebody this week, I said, what I love so much about our offense is, we can throw it to our wideouts. If you deal with our wideouts, you can throw it to our tight end. If you want to deal with both those, we can run it up the gut. If you want to clog up the middle, we can sling it to carry on. We can flip it to the outsides. I just feel like there's lots of things this offense can do, and I love watching them sort of just show up to a ball game and say, let us know what you want to take away, and then we'll go do something else. I think they've been great at that, and that's leads me to my next question for you, Grifka. Darrell Bevel, like, to me, it's night and day between him and, your boy JBC. I feel like JBC might have had a few good ideas and maybe had a few things he could draw up on the chalkboard, but when it came to game day, when it came to calling plays, as well as adjusting, as well as, being able to really scheme out offense, this guy just didn't have it. He couldn't get us where we needed to go. Now he's gone. I've noticed a huge difference with Darrell Bevel, just from variety of play calling, from his ability to dial something up right when it's needed, as well as just seems a lot more tactical when I see him over there with his glasses on, his play sheet, and him and Stafford seem to have a good rapport. So talk some Darrell Bevel, Grifka, because I'm interested on what you think of this guy after a 4 or 5 game sample here.
Yeah, that Darrell Bevel definitely has a better offensive mind than Jim Bob Cooter. I know you had talked about this last year. You think Jim Bob was just Matt Stafford. They were just really comfortable together, and he really didn't force Matt Stafford to do anything. But I think Darrell Bevel's maybe changed that a little bit, and I think he's actually maybe taken the handcuffs off it a little more, where they are driving the ball down the field on some passes, and he does come up with better schemes, I feel. We all saw what he did in Seattle. We had Russell Wilson in those teams. Like I think I mentioned before, I think really what happened to Darrell Bevell is that Seattle, they really let their offensive line go, where they were just, it seemed like they were putting 5 garbage cans out there, and Russell Wilson was running for his life, and they couldn't run the ball anymore. So everybody wanted to blame Darrell Bevell for the problems with the offense, where really that offensive line in Seattle just had become terrible. Lions' offensive line is obviously better than that offensive line was. I mean, I still think Taylor Decker, couldn't, block anything. So the rest of the offensive line seems pretty decent. So he's able to scheme up some stuff to and take advantage of defenses that they faced so far this year. We've seen them hang with Kansas City. I don't believe Kansas City's defense is that good. The Chargers, they were down a couple. The Chargers, the offense didn't look that great in that game either, but still, they were able to pull out a victory there. We all saw what happened in Arizona. They were able to throw up points up there, and Philadelphia. And, obviously, Jim Schwartz, everybody was talking about how he would probably really want to win that game, but still, the Lions were able to take advantage of a weak Eagles secondary, and they didn't just try to ground and pound the whole game, knowing that Philadelphia has a stout run defense in their front seven. So I think he's able to scheme up a lot more than what Jim Bob Cooter's was able to do, and it's bad when other teams are saying we've seen so much tape, we know what Jim Bob's tendencies are, and we know what they're going to run. So I think Darrell Bevell, even Seattle, he's going to bring relatively the same offense here. He's been able to tweak it enough where teams really don't know what he's going to do, and Matt Stafford, I think, is right now having a good season because of it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, just those little plays he's drawn up to McKissick out of nowhere, been able to get the ball to Kenny. I feel still feel like Kenny continues to progress to be a really top flight type number 1 type option on the outside. Marvin Jones has been more than good this year, catches everything that comes his way. The thing I'm waiting on is just like we saw an uptick from Carry-On. They put enough resource in the O-line as well as this running back who now seems to be the featured guy, even though they acted like they didn't want to feature him. It's pretty much the only option. I mean, we signed Paul Perkins. I don't know if he's ever going to suit up or what. And then we've got your boy Ty back there, who really hasn't done anything. I think it's been a couple weeks. I've been promoting him as like, hey, look out for Ty Johnson. This might be the week he blows up or makes a big play. And I rarely notice him on the field. So we kind of just been getting by with this odd running back situation. But until we can really run the football somewhat, again, I don't want to say at will, because to me the NFL, as I always say, is a really hard game. So anytime you're at least running the ball decently, as well as getting to those 100-yard land markers or scoring some touchdowns running the football, just got to see a little more consistency there, as well as maybe even a little more creativity in the run game, where instead of just running up the middle or running off tackle, you're finding other ways to pitch the ball to Carry-On, or throwing little screen passes, draw up things that really get him in a little bit more space, because when that guy gets in space, he's pretty dynamic, but he can also be pedestrian if you just sort of run the same 3-4 run plays and there's no room in the middle. So, I'd like to see that run game uptick a little bit more, but, overall, like I say, the spreading the ball around, the ability to kind of call those trick plays when and if needed, just really been, top notch. And then it's all about longevity. It's just 4 games, so can he do it here in a big spot on Monday night? I sure hope so. And the rapport with the quarterback, as well as just the ability to come up and beat multiple, I think will bode well for him as a long-time offensive coordinator. So I'm glad. I think that we are starting, if not have that filled, and now you can just build off that, hopefully for the next few years, and again, kind of rejuvenated Matt Stafford, not only on the field, but you've talked multiple times. Where have you felt with his moxie? I feel like I've seen some fist pumps. I feel like I've seen a little emotion and some leadership that is encouraging from good old number 9 there. Yeah,
it seems like Matt Stafford is, I think that swagger's back. It seems like he's actually. We've talked about this before as well. Like, you see some quarterbacks, they'll get on the wide receiver when they think they've ran the wrong route or something they should have done that they didn't do. Where it seems like in years past, I think he would just kind of like, chat with them off the sideline. Where this year he seems to be, I don't want to say getting in the face, but he'll point it out to him. I mean, we've seen other quarterbacks do that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I hate to bring it up, but he's called out his wide receivers when he's been unhappy with them. And I've seen other quarterbacks do that as well. They'll call out their wide receivers when they've made a mistake. Tom Brady does it, and Tom Brady can do it because he has plenty of clout, and look what he's won, so nobody's going to bat an eye. But Matt Stafford, I think that's what he has this year that it seems like I haven't seen in a long time, where he's really got the bull by the horns this year, and I think it's he knows this team has something special with it that they can do some damage, when they make the playoffs.
Did you say when, Grifka, when we make the playoffs? Was that a positive comment from you?
Yeah.
Was that a declaration of sorts?
Yes, that was my bold prediction.
Man, Grifka, you're getting a lot of pub on Twitter, I must say, for this. Again, we don't have the soundboard but for this quote, I think it went something like this. Baker Mayfield sucks, okay? Mark it down. I mean, you're getting all types of credit because the guy's not played well, so... I mean, you did that, you shook Darius Slay's hand, and now you just snuck in on, like, off the cuff before you handed it back to me when they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's like, maybe it's that time of day. I'm punch drunk or something like that.
Oh, man, I absolutely love it. And, like you said with Stafford, to me, this is the new Grifka catchphrase, too, that's going to continue to get bells. Hopefully we'll hear it on other shows. But kudos to Matt Stafford, who, has been unbelievable with learning this offense. I remember I used to get frustrated where, everybody would say how smart he is and what a great quarterback. But then you'd always hear, in the behind the scenes, maybe he didn't have a handle on the offense or they had to bring the offense down. He really seems like he's dove into this thing. He has command of it. He's obviously moving the football around to all types of players. Guy's been real solid. I mean, other than the fumble inside the 10, I got no issues with him. I know I asked the Big Hughes when we were chatting recently about what's Matt Stafford's signature W, and he brought up, Cleveland back, which was 10 years ago. Cleveland? And then he brought up, well, I don't know, if it wasn't Cleveland, maybe, what was the other one he said? It was from 6-8 years ago, and I'm like, this guy needs signature moments now, man. He needs things that can put on his resume, playoff wins and wins, late in the year that help you win a division. And we agreed on that, but we kind of said, this may be one of those games where, you're at somebody else's house, a division rival, Monday Night Football. Maybe you do put the team on your back if things start going wrong and you just carry them to a victory. I'd really like to see that from him, but as I said, I really got no complaints. I feel like he's taken the leap that I needed to see from him because, again, you heard me kind of getting after saying, okay, it's been a decade. We really need to see that big arm again. We need to see that moxie. We need to see a guy that can lead this team and just really be top-notch. And we got animals or something running across the road here. What do we got there, Grifka? Some type of...
Oh, that would be a possum.
A little possum up here in who knows where land trying to get to Green Bay, Wisconsin. But, like I said, quarterback has really been good. And the guy, I mean, again, he has this hip injury, which was a little worrisome. He's got the back. I mean, I hurt my back again here recently, and gosh, it is a pain in the ass. I just still creeps up on me at the weirdest times and just doesn't feel good. But if he can shake some of those, I mean, the guy looks like he could still play another 5-10 years, and he has everything you look for in a quarterback. I know I was listening to radio or podcast, and I guess Carson Palmer came out and said that this guy has the most talent from the quarterback position of anybody he's ever seen, which the arm, the ability to lead, the moxie, the intelligence. He's got all that stuff, but we just have never seen it, together or at the highest level. And also what I told Hughes is, you know, I think a few years ago we finally felt like, all right, the team's round into shape. Matt Stafford, you know, has a team, has a run game, has some receivers. But, you know, I think that proved to somewhat be fool's gold. Yet here we are. And just looking at the growth from Tracy, Walker on the defensive side of the ball, Quandre, you know, Slay playing great. And then you turn over to Stafford's quote-unquote weapons, and he's got, you know, an established guy like Marvin. He's got a guy that continues to be on the uptick like Kenny. You know, the best running back I think we've had since, you know, number 20 in Kerryon Johnson. And, you know, really feels like he finally has a complete team for the first time in a long time. So excited about that. But, you know, we're only at, you know, week 6 here, game 5 for the Lions. Still tons to prove, Grifka, across the board before we start talking about that Jim Mora drop. Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? I just hope we can win Monday night. So, Grifka, I say we jump back here in a bit and talk more Lions with the people, but I thought this was a good podcast. On the road, driving, trying to avoid possums, and some optimism from you. So this bodes well, so I don't have to put you in a headlock when we're in the seats when you flipped out after the first bad ref call. So I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah, this was a definite change for us where we're able to watch for wild animals on the road, maybe a Sasquatch, and eating his Jack Link's beef jerky, and, you know, passing the car every 40 miles is always, you know, kind of cool. So
I did miss the Grifka bell, but other than that, I think the people will enjoy hearing us on this crazy road trip. This is one I've looked forward to for a long time. We'll be in Green Bay by GPS says 4:07 a.m. and then we'll be looking to, you know, keeping our head on the swivel for cheddar heads and gorgonzolas and all the cheese that'll be walking around. Like I say, we're coming to Green Bay to swipe all your meats and cheeses. We'll leave your women probably to you, but we're also going to try to take a dubski outside of Green Bay, right back to the D, because it's Detroit versus everybody. Detroit Koolaid is going to be in the house in a few hours. So we'll get back to you guys with more content as we keep this road trip going. Thank you so much. Take care for now. We're out.
Pack the bags, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in.